housemate friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So you're probably like, wow, Ashley, you're filming like 3 videos in one day, and my answer is yes. I'm tired, I'm exhausted. What I really want to do is relax and enjoy the new year rolling in with my hot tea, my turmeric tea in one hand and a houseplant in the other. Work is work and we gotta do it. So I'm bumping out a couple of these videos in one day. And one sunny winter afternoon, turmeric tea in one hand and a houseplant in the other. So today I wanted to tell you all about my houseplant goals for 2021. And I really took some time and some self-reflection to kind of figure out, okay, what do I feel like I could really work on in 2021? And what are some things that I think I need to work on in my own little ecosystem in order to make things more fruitful and exciting for 2021. And I came up with a list of plant goals for 2021. I'm really against the whole idea of like New Year's resolutions. I really believe that you can start change at any one time in your life, but I feel like this year in particular, New Year's resolutions are really, really important, especially because we're rolling into a new year of hope, a new year of hopefully getting the world back on track, and specifically getting back to work, going back outside, seeing friends again. This new year carries a lot. It's got a lot on its shoulders, and I just felt like it's a really good time to make some changes in how I've been taking care of my houseplants. So I'm gonna read you through my 2021 resolutions for taking care of houseplants, and I'd love to hear any resolutions that you have or we share in the comment section down below. So let's just get into it. So my number one New Year's resolution for 2021 is I really want to do more giveaways. Even though I was stuck at home a lot this year, I didn't do a lot of giveaways. I had a lot going on this year. I graduated college, I moved, I got married, I helped my friend get married. By that I mean like I was in her wedding, and there was just a lot. So I feel like I got too lost in worrying about myself this year, and I didn't think enough about giving back to people as much this year as I normally do because I was too preoccupied with myself. So going into 2021, I'd like to be less self-absorbed and more giving just in general. Like if a friend comes over to my house, I'd love to just be able to be like, bro, take anything you want. Like take a cutting of anything. So I'd love to do more giveaways and then just give away locally because the Boise Houseplant community doesn't have the same influx of new plants that other communities do. So I think that that's something I'd really like to do. Another thing I'd really like to do next year is learn more about how to actually grow begonias and care for them. Learn how to pollinate them instead of just like barely keeping them alive. Because I feel like when I get begonias, they don't ever grow. I feel like I get them and then I do a really, really good job of keeping them alive. Like I think I can name 3 begonias ever that I've actually gotten to grow, which is surprisingly my Julau type 1, Malacha sticta, which I've actually had to cut down twice, and my Rubita. That second Rubita I actually never got to grow back after I cut it down. It got huge, but then it just didn't want to keep going after that. I don't know if it's just because I haven't been keeping plants long enough to actually see that kind of significant growth, but in 2021 I want to actually learn how to grow begonias and learn how to actually take care of them instead of just doing the bare minimum to get by. I want to get better at propagating and growing plants in general. I feel like the last one kind of leaks into this one. I would really love to learn more about how to actually grow plants and have the energy to put into growing them. I personally have a really hard time doing multiple things in one day. So if I'm going to cook dinner that night, I really feel like I can't do anything else that day that will take up my mental capacity because I feel like I need to reserve it. I'm someone who gets fatigued extremely easily if I'm doing things. So if I do like more than one big activity in a day, I just feel like I've completely drained myself. Or what I'll do is I'll get in like a productivity high and I'll do a bunch of things, and then for the next week I have to lay around and do nothing because I've exhausted all of my energy on that one day, which is kind of what I feel like I'm doing today by filming so many videos. I just want to learn more about actually growing plants instead of just keeping them alive. I want to get better in 2021 about not just tossing away plants that have a problem. If there's thrips, I want to have a designated space to put that plant and treat it until it gets better. If it has any kind of mold or mildew or other pests on it, I want to learn how to fix it. If it has root rot, I want to learn how to save it. I don't want to just get lazy like I have been this year with my plant collecting and just kind of like, oh, it's dying, I'll just get rid of it, because that has pretty much been my attitude towards growing plants since I started, and I don't know why it is like that. Like, same thing, if a leaf leaf starts to yellow, I'll just cut it off. I won't leave it there, even though I know that that plant can still absorb the energy from that leaf that's left. I will just remove it because I just don't like it. I don't like how it looks. So I think that I want to be okay with less perfection in 2021 and more about growing in the process of things. In 2021, I want to learn how the hell fertilization actually works. Like, I want to learn about what the components go into it, what makes a non-toxic versus an organic fertilizer, what is a supplement versus a fertilizer. These are all things that I've always wondered, but I've never actually taken the liberty of just like learning myself. I feel like I've relied on other people to teach me things. And I feel like the second you start relying on other people to teach you things, you are almost blaming other people for the reason that you don't know enough. So in 2021, I would love to learn all about fertilization. I would love to try out a bunch of different brands and actually try fertilizing plants and just being more active in general in taking a part of my plant's growth. In 2021, I want to build a real vivarium. This is something I wanted to do this year, and I actually tried, but then it got consumed by mold. Like in 2 days, like the whole thing literally just mold everywhere, and I don't know what I did wrong. So what I'd like to do in 2021 is actually build a real vivarium, and then maybe even get some fun little critters to live in it and actually work on taking care of that vivarium. Right now I have a couple things that are similar to a vivarium, but really they're just like a terrarium with a bed of perlite, wet perlite, and aluminum foil to keep the water in, and then I put plants in there. And I don't plant them, I just leave them in there. So I would love to learn about actual vivarium care in 2021 and actually do it. I want to learn about pesticides. I want to learn about what makes a safe and organic pesticide. I want to learn about what makes one dangerous. I want to learn about which ones you can use on vegetables, which ones you can use around your pets. Can you really spray pesticides indoors safely, or will that lead to lasting health effects? I want to learn everything about pesticides because the one that I use right now is fine. I like it enough, but I'd really love to get into systemics and preventatives. I'd love to learn more about neem oil and see how I can really best use that to my advantage since it is an organic oil. There's just a lot. There's a lot I'd love to learn about pesticides. So going into 2021, I will definitely be doing a ton of research on how I can best prevent pests within my plant collection. This one's gonna sound weird, but it's really important. In 2020, I bought a ton of generic common houseplants at local stores, and then I found that I didn't take care of them at all. And the reason that I would buy them is because they were just $5 or just $10. But instead, what I'd like to do in 2021 is only buy plants, period, rare or common, that I think I'm actually going to like and take care of in the long run. I feel like I do this thing where I buy plants to like satisfy my urge for buying plants, and I'll just buy cheap whatever plants just to fill the space in this room or downstairs. But what I really want to do in 2021 is just not buy a plant unless I'm in love with it. Even if it's common, even if it's rare, even if it's somewhere in between. I don't want to just spend money on plants because it's just cheap, because it's just 20 bucks, because it's just 40 bucks, because it's whatever. And then that way I'll have more money later down the line to actually spend on a couple common plants or one rare plant, or you know, whatever. So I want to reduce my useless spending on plants that I'm just gonna let die in the long run. In 2021, I really want to go semi-hydro and try to figure that out. I want to try lechuza, I want to try leca, and I want to try perlite and moss more instead of just soil. And I really feel like moss would be a really good medium for me to get into. And then also kind of branching off of that, I want to learn how to actually mix my own soil, because right now I just buy whatever mix at the store and call it good. And there's so many other people that actually mix their own soils and then they keep it into these big tubs, and that's something I would really like to get into in 2021. Okay, so in 2021, I really would like to try to buy plants as little as often and actually trade for most of my plants. That's something that I was really successful in towards the end of this year. The beginning of this year, I ordered a ton of plants, but towards the end of this year, actually, I hardly bought any plants, and instead I just did a bunch of trades. I think mostly it was in August and September that I just did a crap ton of trades, and that's something I want to continue with. I want to continue in going into 2021. There is a whole community of plant collectors out there who do just refuse to pay those prices or any price in general for plants, and they feel like because it's an organic matter that just provides joy, it shouldn't cost money, and that we should instead just trade with each other and try to find those people who feel the same way. And the person who traded the Ilsmanii with me also sells plants, but they do sell them for reasonable prices, and the fact that they were willing to trade me an Ilsmanii in exchange for something that wasn't equal at all their trade, but they did it just because they knew I'd love the plant is an attitude I want to be carrying with me into the future of plant collecting. Even if I'm doing a trade down and I know that I'm not getting the good part of the trade, to do those trades anyway because it's going to make the other person happy. And that kind of goes back into the being more giving aspect of 2021. And then also I really want to reduce my spending in general in 2021 and really save a lot. Those are my goals for 2021, my New Year's resolutions, my plant resolutions for 2021. Let me know what yours are in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and tweet me at PlantMeAshley. Follow me on Instagram at PlantMeAshley. I have PlantMeAshley merch, which you can go to youtube.com/Ashley, and then you can go to the store section and you'll actually be able to see all of my merch on Teespring there. But other than that, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in 2021.